Pokemon investing can be hilarious sometimes, and right now it is. The prices for some of these products to me is so extreme and so just outrageous in my opinion, it's honestly just laughable. Like a year ago, all of these products that I'm showing you here were like dirt cheap. But just because of this market we're in right now, a lot of these products have just absolutely climbed in value, and I feel like a lot of these that I'm going to show you here are actually overvalued for what they are. And it's just so funny and laughable because I was, around in the times when all these products were dirt cheap. And now to see the prices of them, it's so funny. It's like, you didn't even have to try, try to invest in this stuff. You didn't have to do any sort of thinking like, oh, this set with these cards, is it going to perform well? Like, you didn't have to think. You could have bought anything a year ago, anything that was cheap, any of these booster boxes. And if you're still holding on to them as of right now, you're doing pretty well because just everything in this market has gone up. It doesn't matter if it's a trash set, it'll just go up. And that's what's so hilarious about everything going on right now. Everything is going up, even the bad ones. First of all, let's just look at Obsidian Flames because I've talked about Obsidian Flames before. Now, this set, I've always, said this set wasn't very good, but at the same time, I feel like it was actually overhated to some extent. Like, I've never really liked this set. It was just kind of a set that everybody talked about, just having Charizards, and that's why it's going to perform well because honestly, if you look at this set, there's really nothing in here that's really expensive. The Charizard SIR has gone up a lot in value, but it's not even $100. This set doesn't really have much value. And everybody just talked about this being sort of like the darkness ablaze of Scarlet and Violet because there's really not much value in here, but it's a Charizard set. So people said, you know what, even though it doesn't have much value, it's a Charizard set, it's going to go up. And well, what happened? It went up. Obsidian Flames booster boxes right now, the lowest listed on TCG Player, is $180. Guys, this is over MSRP, right? And this is just a little bit over a year old now. Like, this set is not that old, guys. And it's already over MSRP, which is now 161, right? It's at 180, and this set has like no value. Like, this to me is an overpriced product, and it's hilarious because, guys, look at the prices of the cards in the set. Like, it's laughable. This Charizard only recently went up. I think at one point this was in the 40s or 50s. Like, this was very cheap. I think it recently has gone up because the prices of the box have gone up. But guys, look at this set. And the booster box is $180. Like, it's crazy. That's how the space is right now. All these bad products, right? Relative to the rest of the era, they're performing still very well. We see Stellar Crown. I haven't talked about this one. This recently ran up, as you can see here. It's at 170, guys. Stellar Crown is pretty new. Stellar Crown is just before Surging Sparks. I've talked about Stellar Crown before being just the forgotten set. Nobody talks about this set at all. But look at where it's at. Like, nobody was really investing into this. I didn't hear anybody talking about investing in Stellar Crown because the top chase is Terapagos. And look at where it's at, guys. Like I said, this is a new set. This is the 7th set. And it's almost as expensive as, Obsidian Flames, which is, 4 sets older. It's more expensive than Paradox Rift. It's more expensive than Temporal Forces. I think it's pretty much just as expensive as Twilight. Guys, this is Stellar Crown. I'm telling you, this is so hilarious in my opinion how prices are right now. It's so crazy. Seeing, guys, Stellar Crown being this new and being already over MSRP is crazy to me. And you can see here why people were kind of hating on the sets because the top chase card is the Terapagos, and it's it's gone down. It used to be above $100, now it's 86. The Squirtle and Bulbasaur, I've always said that these two cards itself, Squirtle and Bulbasaur, these were going to carry the set, and even though the Terapagos is the main chase, these two cards will be the reason why this will do all right, in time. And we can see already Stellar Crown is performing extremely well. Guys, 170, you could have bought booster boxes of Stellar Crown for $100 not too long ago because nobody cared about this set. And look at where it's at now. It's so funny. And, I don't think this is a very good set. This is another thing with, like, I would compare it to Obsidian Flames. I think it's better than Obsidian Flames. Obvious. I think it's kind of obvious, but I think it's better than Obsidian Flames. But it's sort of the same thing where it is overvalued in my opinion. Guys, this is the 7th set. This is very new. It's already above MSRP. It's at 170, and the top chase card isn't even $100. And you can see the price spread here. It's just 3 cards that are like above $50, and everything under that is not really worth much. So for this to be $170 already, it's extremely overpriced, and it just goes to show what type of market we're in right now and just how hilarious things are. Next is Vivid Voltage. Now this is a very, I guess funny one too, because Vivid Voltage for the longest time, we can just see here, for the longest time it was just staying in the 130s, and now the lowest listed is $195. Like, Vivid Voltage. If you were to have told anybody, a year ago to invest into Vivid Voltage, everybody would have laughed at you. But recently, obviously, when Vivid Voltage booster boxes went over MSRP for market price, everybody was flocking to the Pokemon Center, buying cases and cases worth of, Vivid Voltage. I talked about it. I made videos about it. I thought it was hilarious, but look at where it's at now. It's at almost $200. Now, when, products like these get to this point, everybody likes to talk about them, say, like, I told you so, these bad sets can still rise in value. But one thing I will say about these types of sets, especially like these Sword and Shield sets like Vivid and the next set I'm going to show you guys, I feel like these are probably at their point where they're probably going to hit a wall right here and stop. We see that with Rebel Clash. Rebel Clash really hasn't done much. It stayed in the low 200s forever. All these bad sets do get to a point where they become, in my opinion, overvalued, and they kind of just don't grow anymore. They'll just be stagnant or start to dip. I feel like Vivid Voltage is going to be like that, because you can see here, sales volume some days were kind of high, but there's really not much liquidity with this box. At 190s, I feel like the sales are really going to drop, and at this point, I feel like it's just gotten here because people bought up all the cheaper ones, and I don't see this going really much higher, to be honest, because there's really nothing too crazy in the set. There is the Chonkachu, but that's about it. Everything else is just very cheap. So Vivid Voltage does have, I guess, an expensive chase card, but it's only one. Now, Darkness Ablaze was kind of, I guess the first bad set, to hit $200, other than, Rebel Clash, and I guess you could say Sword and Shield base. Like, Darkness Ablaze hit 200 before Vivid, which I was sort of surprised because, like I said, the Chonkachu is above $100. It does have that chase card. So honestly, I would have expected Vivid Voltage to be, hitting, higher numbers faster than Darkness, but that didn't happen. Darkness hit 200 before Vivid, and now Vivid is pretty much at $200. But Darkness, you can see here, it did run up to, $200 recently. But you can see here what I mean by like liquidity with these bad sets. Like, they hit price points like these, and it seems crazy, but once they hit these price points, it becomes pretty like a liquid, like barely any of these are really selling. You can see, like, it looks like a lot, but guys, it's only 3 boxes. You can see here, in a lot of days none sell. So yeah, but it is still insane to see that prices do get to this point with these bad sets, because they were so cheap for so long. Like, you can see, guys, you can see this, like how just hilarious it's been in the past few months. And you can see here, like, guys, Darkness Ablaze, it's like, I think a little bit over 4 years old now. The top chase card's $30, and the booster box is $200. If you spend like 30 more bucks, you can buy Silver Tempest booster boxes. It's kind of crazy when you think about it that way, because Silver Tempest obviously, yeah, got reprinted and stuff. But as a Lugia, which is almost $300, the Rayquaza, I think now is like in the high double digits. And Darkness Ablaze is only $30 cheaper than that box. It's really funny. But yeah, just wanted to go over some of these, just, I guess, sets that are considered to be bad. Obviously some of the Scarlet Violet ones like Obsidian and Stellar, you could argue they're not really bad, but, compared to the rest of the sets in the era, they're not that great. It's just so funny to see how expensive they are right now, and especially Stellar Crown really did surprise me, because, guys, how much just Stellar Crown was not talked about. Like, how much people just didn't care. No one talked about it investing-wise. Like, I haven't seen anybody talk about Stellar Crown, like, in investing. And now, look at where it's at now. It's at 170, and it's very new. It's the 7th set of Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, I just want to show you guys all these sets that just have gone up like crazy because of this market. I've talked about this before as well. Like, yeah, it seems crazy that these prices are the way they are now, but it's just because of the market. And when this market does cool down, these types of boxes that are, in my opinion, overvalued at this time, they will drop the most. So I'm not gonna, I guess, advise you guys to do any of this stuff. But honestly, if I was holding, Stellar Crown, depending on obviously what price you got it at. If you got it at the bottom, maybe at $90, right? Darkness, Vivid. If you have any of these and you bought them and you can make a somewhat decent profit margin, if I was, I'm not gonna say you guys, for me, if I had any of these boxes, maybe Obsidian you could maybe argue you can keep holding because it's probably not gonna get reprinted, whatever. And I guess you could say the same with Darkness and Vivid, but I think they're gonna really hit a wall here in this market when things are somewhat liquid, even with these bad stuff. If I was in this position, I had any of these, I would probably sell some, especially Darkness. Maybe Vivid you could argue because the Chocolate Chew. I would really be selling Darkness to be honest. And I guess Stellar Crown is still, it can get reprinted stuff, but it's so expensive. I think it's kind of funny, but because if you're able to get it for like $90, which honestly was not that difficult, you know, you can make a decent profit there. And Stellar Crown, I do believe, honestly, Stellar Crown, even though it is relatively new and it could get reprinted, for how much like there was like no hype for the set, there's a good chance it probably doesn't get reprinted. But any of these bad sets in markets like these, I would take advantage of the liquidity right now and sell these types of things, especially ones that are, in my opinion, really overvalued. But like I said, it's just in my opinion what I would do. I'm not, if you want to hold and stuff, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But if I had any of these, which I don't have any of these, I would probably sell some off because the prices for these right now and the value of the cards inside of these boxes, it just doesn't make any sense. And I do understand some of these are older and stuff, and I do understand that to a certain extent. The prices of the cards do not correlate with the box price anymore once they're out of print and they get older. But still, the amount these have grown in this market is just bonkers, to be honest. And yeah, I feel like a lot of them are sort of overvalued. So that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you have any of these boxes and if you're planning on selling any. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.